The news article read Sharia law enforced by U.S. courts was that was the catch-all phrase. And when you dug into it, what you found was that two parties had entered into a contract. And in the contract, it stated that any disputes would be decided and based upon Sharia law, right? So this is two Muslim entities entering into a contract, and the terms of that contract gave for their religion to handle any disputes. It's in their contract. What the judge did is he said, that's the terms of the contract. We're enforcing the contract. Therefore, you have to go about that process that you pre-agreed to in the contract. That got completely spun out of control to where it was the courts are enforcing Sharia law on people. And this, I'd say I guess the far right just went way off the charts with it, and it blew out into something completely different to where I had to sit down and read through it and find out, oh, wait a second, they were merely enforcing a contract.
But that is true by the rights because it's called precedent.
Yes, and if it had been two Christians or two Jews or two Hindus or two something else that had entered into a contract, and within the terms of that contract, they had provided for their solution to a dispute, then that's the terms you go by. And we have it all the time in contracts where we agree to waive arbitration, to waive court proceedings on trial by jury. Is common just about every contract you sign with any kind of a business or a corporate entity. Yeah. You're waiving your right to a jury trial, and it's in the contract. So when you go and say, oh, no, I want a jury trial, they say, oh, you can't, because in the contract you agreed to waive it. You agreed to these terms, and these terms say no jury trial. And that happens all the time.
I'm tired of these one-sided contracts. I'm tired of, oh, you want a credit card with my company? Oh, you have to read my insanely worded size 2 font, multi-page pamphlet, and you don't have a choice. You either agree by my long contracts and terms and conditions, or you don't get your credit card.
That's why
and by the way, every other company that you want to get a credit card with, they have the exact same rules.
Yeah, I don't deal in credit cards. I don't carry one. I don't have one. Don't own one. When American Express sends me their monthly letter, I rip it up and throw it away. I want no part of being. They call it credit card. I call it debt card. It's nothing but perpetual debt. Stay away from it at all costs. I throw them out. I don't carry one. Don't deal with them. And I'm better off for it. I've paid off all my bills. I have no debt. Yay.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. But I thought it was interesting that I got this big flashy headline, and I see all of this stuff, or I hear all this stuff on the talk radio. I said, well, let me go and check this thing out. And it turns out it's the complete opposite. So it was a whole lot of smoke, a whole lot of mirrors, and no real substance. Where's the beef? And the beef wasn't there.
Yeah, I follow a lot of Twitter feeds, and one of the feeds I follow is the guy Liberty Ideals. And so when I saw the post from Liberty Ideals that said, Tampa Court correctly upholds Sharia law, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, wait a second. We need to go and check this thing out here.
Because I see all these headlines like, oh, U.S. courts uphold Sharia law, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. And then I see his post, and I went, okay. And then I clicked on it, and I read it a little bit, and I'm like, oh, gotcha. They had a contract. The judge said, yeah, your contract is binding. I mean, we talk about it. It could have just as easily said, when there's a dispute, you flip a coin, and Samir here is heads, and Ahmed here is tails.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's a contract. Simple as that. Now, if only the courts would look at the U.S. Constitution as a contract, that would surely help. That would go a long way.